Alright guys, time for another quarterfinal game. This time it's going to be EloFishers facing off against Spicy Waffles. Another very big game. Last week, big upset for Spicy Waffles. They were knocked out very early on in the tournament due to the random seeding. There were some crazy games in those earlier rounds. This time around, making it a bit further, one of these teams not going to be going on to the semifinals. We'll see which team that is going to be here in just a few, as the bans slowly but surely starting to come out for this one.
So Vamana's taken off the board early as well, and that Bologna. We talked so much about her yesterday and how she's just such a flex pick, but it really can't be overstated. Just the mind games that picking someone like a Bologna can play with your enemy. You lock in Bastet, you lock in Circuit, 99% of the time, they're going to the jungle. You lock in a Bologna, and no one knows.
Yeah, and swinging flex picks, Athena gonna be picked up, or banned out, excuse me, rather, by EloFishers. I'm having trouble with words again, evidently. It's just one of those days. Neath going to be the final ban. Has moved to the first pick. There's a lot of options available. There's a lot of junglers, Thor, Circuit, but the focus these days hasn't really been on those assassins. We see Medusa getting locked in for the first pick of this matchup.
That was taken out by, I'm going to say, not the puppies, it was the, and now my memory's just gone blank. When you're casting it at 1 in the morning, this sort of thing, it just happens, you know. You gotta roll with it. You gotta roll with it. But Medusa was banned out.
Yeah.
Yep. Keep going.
Medusa was picked. It's early.
Oh, she was.
It's very late for you. It's very early for me. It's 11 in the morning. Again, who the heck wakes up before noon? Seriously, it's like the sun is like still barely up in the sky and crazy. I don't even know anymore. It's too early. I'd like a nap. But alas, we have Smite. It's the EU Challenger Cup. It's week number 2. And as intense as this bracket is, every single game, pretty much quarterfinals and beyond, is like if we had the hours in the day, and if my voice could hold out for like 10, 15 games, I would love to cast every single one of them. But alas, we don't have that luxury at this point in time. But Poseidon and Thor getting locked in. We're seeing Thor get picked up occasionally. He's still such a strong gang setup. He's a strong god. People just kind of like are not playing him anymore. This whole Hunter meta, Guardian meta, Thor doesn't necessarily fit into it all that much.
Yeah, he's more like that. Well, I mean, he can be. The wall can be played as a very good peel mechanics. It allows your team to kite back out of those major ultimates, or if the opposition support is blinked over, like an Ares, potentially. You know, that's a thing. He's not as potent when the rest of the team can't climb over this Thor wall, right? They have to sit there and they're like, okay, we gotta wait. We just gotta kind of try and poke over Medusa. She's gonna throw those autos. She's gonna try and get them over the wall and try and drop the damage. But you know, if the rest of the team can't really follow through, anyone that's melee, they're in a little bit of trouble. They're reduced to spellcasting.
Yeah, so Janus Ares locked in on the side of EloFishers. That's going to be global presence coming out of Janus Ares as well. We saw last game it didn't work out all that well. We'll see if it works a little bit better. It's likely going to be Big Man Ting who's playing that one. He is Ares. We saw, you know, he's a very big player, so if nothing else, he burns the beads. When you have a Medusa on your team as well, that Petrify is a massive slow, and if you can hit it from with the person looking at you, and you get that Petrify effect, it's a very long stun. You want to have beads for that as well. So it's going to be messy. Janus portals, you don't want to get caught in those either. So there's so many methods right now on EloFishers, and so much crowd control you want to be able to beads out of, but you don't have the luxury of having stuff up for everything. So I expect there's going to be a couple Magi's Blessings coming on mid to late game, and some early beads coming out potentially as well, as we see that Hunbats and Rom are going to be banned out as the counter bans, and Xbalanque locked in as the second to last pick on the side of Spicy Waffles.
Just thinking how much that Hunbats would be a real threat here. Medusa, Ares, Janus, right? All these nice little bits of AoE damage. The acid spray, Viper shot, then bursts through. Not AoE, but you know, it's good enough. Janus can put out a lot of AoE damage. Hunbats would combo really well in with that that sort of thing, especially if they drop the no escape into that Pheno Evil as well. That's a really strong combo. So that's a fantastic counterban coming through from the guys on the side of Spicy Waffles, and they get the Xbalanque for themselves. So they've got the Poseidon and the Thor for some nice early to mid game combo, and then they can allow their Xbalanque to grab kills wherever he can, and he just comes online and does whatever he wants then.
Yep. So we're going to see Vamana getting locked in right now as well. We don't see him played all that much these days. but he can potentially be an absolute monster late game. He's kind of a hyper carry warrior. He's going to just chase somebody down and try and kill them, and that's when he goes into that big baby form to Colossal Fury. There's really no stopping him. The best you can really look to do is pop a Weakening Curse, shut down that 5% per second healing he gets, and potentially look to burst him down. But at the same time, if you don't manage to accomplish that, you're extending the duration of the Colossal Fury, and he will just continue healing once that anti-healing has worn off. So it's a tough time to actually make sure you can bring him down and deal with him if he's able to get going into late game. Final pick is once again going to be an Apollo getting locked in on the side of Spicy Waffles, getting moved over to a Game Hunter, who will be playing that over in the solo lane as we are, as it looks at this particular moment. God, trading is still going on. We'll see if that's the final call or not. So yeah, Game Hunter making a reappearance. Took a little bit of a break from Smite. Now back with the Spicy Waffles, who also joining Wolfie, Flurry Q, Bushy, Ninja Bob. I was trying to make a sentence and my brain said no, that it wasn't going there. The words I was looking for were just not forthcoming. So nevertheless,
you know what the Vamana pick reminds me of? Who are you thinking from this week that has just gone huge on Vamana?
If we're talking SPL, I am currently behind.
Zalia, big plays in Vamana this week. Yeah. Can Lofez force Safeall, or, you know, Lofez, Safeall, doesn't really matter, because, like, either way, back to front. But if he can go as big as Zalia did, he can very much carry his team to victory from a very behind situation.
That said, in the solo lane, it's going to be EloFishers' Vamana going up against Game Hunter's Apollo. And I think everyone is pretty much aware of one of the probably biggest players in Smite history coming out of Game Hunter, the big launch tournament pentakill with Game Hunter's Vamana. So he is definitely a seasoned Vamana player. He should know this matchup inside and out. And I don't say necessarily run away with it, but at least be able to deal with it. That said, the anti-ghost timer has already run down, so we're going to go ahead and cut to a quick little break, get ourselves set up with the game itself. We'll be back here in just about a minute. Alright guys, we are back, and if I actually press the play button, the game will get underway. It's EloFishers facing off against Spicy Waffles in this quarterfinal match. This, one way or another, is going to be an upset for one of these teams. Spicy Waffles last week got knocked out very early on in the bracket in a very big upset. I believe it was a round of 16. EloFishers made it all the way through to the finals, and this week, we'll see what team can be successful and just continue their way to the semifinals. Not even the finals yet, we have these two behemoths facing off against each other.
Oh man, Puppies is still going through, and the winner of this game, like, this game is such an intense game as well. Spicy Waffles, EloFishers. EloFishers finished second place last week. Spicy Waffles. Whoever can count Spicy Waffles out of a Challenger Cup match?
Most people probably wouldn't, but then there was last week, so yeah.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know.
And that's not that's not to discredit Spicy Waffles in any way, shape, or form. That is just the state of the EU Challenger Cup scene right now. There are so many teams who I could seriously say, you know what, I could see these guys make the relegation. I could see these teams taking games off SPL teams. This isn't just a case of, oh, the Spicy Waffles had, like, the entire team disconnect, they rage quit because they gave up first blood or something. Invade coming out, Get Fisher, locked down, the Whirlpool, the body blocks. Bushy picks up the first kill in this one. Things not looking good out of the gate already. Spicy Waffles getting an early first blood onto the enemy AD carry. They're going to have the advantage in lane, and with that Xbalanque Ymir combo, the wave clear is going to be pretty good, even though Acid Spray is, you know, in theory, at least on paper, should be able to allow them to outpush, but the level difference, it's going to be a tough call.
Yeah, and you mentioned Xbalanque getting the first blood. That's the best thing that can possibly happen for Spicy Waffles.
Absolutely.
That's 5 of 33 power already online, right? If there is anyone you wanted that first blood to go to, it is definitely Bushy. He clears waves exceptionally increased now. That 5 power at level 1 and now level 2, that's just intense.
Yep. The aggression immediately coming back out. Ymir is known for his aggression, as is Ares. Big Man Tings is really going to have to work this one just to kind of stabilize the lane a little bit. You can see the struggle of wave clear going back and forth. The level disadvantage for Get Fisher versus the Bushy. That extra power, like you said, is helping. Plus those poison darts, while they're not necessarily known as the best wave clear build in the game, you can still hit a fair bit of the minions with them once they group up in the middle. Or actually just before they group in the middle, they kind of still spread out a little bit. You can hit more of them then.
Yeah. That's why he's waiting, and they're going to get another freeze down on towards Tings, and the focus is coming through. The chains will at least tag back, but poor Spicy Waffles on the left-hand side of the map, they are getting ballsy. I could almost predict a turret dive in 2 levels time.
It might be a rough ask, but it's definitely a possibility. Taking a peek over at the solo lane, Game Hunter being slightly outpushed right now by Lofez. It's to be expected up against Vamana. He's going to be a bit of poking, and Lofez doesn't really have any sustain for the early part of the game. That said, neither does Game Hunter on that Apollo. He did start with that blue stone into the Heartseeker, so he still has to be careful, doesn't want to get too much poke answered back, but pretty much for the time being, Lofez is going to be using his Umbrella Ring and the Armored Umbrella just for wave clear purposes, for now at least.
It was standard stuff that you really see coming out from the Vana. Post, you know, bringing that big baby, the sprint, the beads, everything that he needs online anyway. That's when he can start to look to go forward a little bit more, look for kills and towards Game Hunter.
Look where Thor is, though. Ninja Bobat is just waiting for EloFishers to look for that big aggressive push forward. I want to say they know where he is. There he is going up in the air. They're going to look for this dive. There's going to have to be a dive because they're back on the tower already. He's not going to find anybody. That's an ultimate spent for nothing.
And it's just the anticipation you can see from Spicy Waffles. They want to go for it, and there is nothing more exciting as a caster when a gank can go either way, right? This can really be played on both sides, and the mid Harpy camps are spawning, and they've got the rotation. They're going to get a portal down on towards Wi-Fi, but Pikachu is going to get walled off and blocked in, forced to just jump back in, and Wi-Fi's going to find that second blood with the crack of Pikachu dot damage. Oh, one in response. This is going to be intense all the way through.
That was a rough one. Pikachu was not in a good spot. He was caught by the Ymir wall. If he stayed in place, Ymir was going to follow up the freeze and would have died anyway. He tried to pounce back, figuring, maybe they forgot I leapt from there and maybe buy myself a moment's time to actually escape. It didn't work out. They got the answer kill in the end. The Razor Whip plus the through space and time from Dars are able to answer one back, 1 for 1. Harpy cams did end up going the way of Spicy Waffles, though, on the right-hand side. As well, on the left side, it was a mess. We don't know who got that, so whatever. One Harpy camp advantage, 1 for 1 kill, so pretty much even trade as far as Harpies are concerned. But, yeah, still that first blood advantage giving a couple hundred extra gold to Spicy Waffles.
Yeah, everyone's actually going to go base right now from the EloFishers, so they're going to look for some very early item spikes. Doom Orb already online for the Janus, and we were saying MLC Stealth's one of the only Januses playing with the Doom Orb? No, not anymore. Darza is going to be picking up that Doom Orb as well. We were hearing it as well from the other day from, I believe it was Adonis and Scott Gandhi, that how much of an early spike it can give. The stacks really come online about that 8 stack point, and it's just a potent item, very cheap, very, very efficient in that early game. You start dying off, that's where your problems exist. But it's Janus, he can just portal through walls. He's a totally safe god to run a Doom Orb on. I like this pickup. Yeah,
Doom Orb at 8 stacks is when it's basically on par with other equivalent mana items.
He's efficient right now.
Yeah, he's efficient now. So even if he dies, he loses 3. First minion wave, he's back up to gold efficiency. So he's not necessarily losing anything by picking this up. Anything above that, at 2 magical power per stack, that is a lot of extra magical power. It's 100 magical power at max stacks, and he's going to have those stack spells. Assuming he doesn't get killed in the meanwhile, it's going to be about 3-4 minutes. He's pretty much going to be at that point then, being back Harpies, mid Harpies, and there's like little other incidentals he can pick up along the way. It's a lot of extra power spike. You see that Wolfie picked up the same item as well, so they're going to be back and forth. Darza, though, on that Janus. Janus is reasonably safe. He has to worry about the cripple from Whirlpool. You can't go through a regular old portal. Through space and time, there's a very brief period of crowd control immunity from the ultimate. You can pop through it. But a regular portal, he can't sneak out. So if he can avoid the Whirlpool and just escape through a portal, he'll be alright. But Spicy Waffles looking for the big plays to force something. Gold Fury getting started. Pikachu, well aware of it, going to force out the retreat.
Absolutely perfect. He's not quite done yet. He's going to grab that D-Claw combo down on towards Wilfie, and now the blink into that, no escape. It's gonna grab Wifey back in, and Darza with the cleanup from the unstable vortex. They're gonna look for an engage off the back of this. Thor has taken to the skies. What can he find with the Anvil of Dawn? He misses on towards Pikachu, and he's forced to run away. Now, Flurry Q is gonna get some cats dropped on his face. He's gonna look for a Frost Breath, and he's gonna drop down the ultimate at least to do what he can, but Darza finds himself another kill, and this is problems early on for Spicy Waffles. That is gonna be a big Janus.
Ninja Bobat's nearby, though, to looking to stop this Gold Fury attempt. They will force a retreat with the Darzer Knights coming in off of Bushy. They're looking for kills now, as well as the portal will get Darzer out of that one safely. Backside of the fight, though, they're still looking for more. Get Fisher! Gonna look for the stun from the Petrified, not find it. Pikachu finds Ninja Bobat, while Bushy makes a retreat.
Yeah, and that was all the damage coming through from Darza. He is just so big. They're going to find left side midcamps, right side Vamana looking at Gamer Hunter's Apollo. What can he find? Lofez, what do you want, buddy? Do you want kills? Do you want Harpies? You're playing around both at the moment. You're waiting for that backup. Jordan, this is just like right here. This is even worse than the Fire Giant dance. It's a Harpy Camp dance. You don't get as much from this one.
No, they're not really worth giving up that much. It's only 100 gold. Yeah, it's 100 gold. Yeah, it's a decent chunk of experience as well. But it's not something you necessarily want to lose members of your team over. If you have to give them up because it's a 3v2 situation, it's probably better just to give it up because you're down a man, rather than say, oh, we'll try and steal this in, and oh, we lost the Harpies, we lost a member of the team, we just gave the enemy team like 500 gold because we didn't want to give up 100. Net gain-wise, just not worth the risk generally.
Look at this. Look at the gold, right? It's actually back in Spicy Waffles' favor. They're down 4 kills to 2. They're down a couple of sets of Harpy camps. The XP is what's really telling the story right now. That's the only advantage that EloFisher have got, but it's only 1,500. This game is so close, and in that left-hand side of the map, it's going to be big man Tings coming up with the play on Ymir.
I'm going max range, no escape. So it's like watching the minimap, what's going on? Oh, they're not fighting each other, and suddenly Ymir is like vanishing. It's like, oh, and he just died. Apparently, Big Man Tings caught him in no escape, and it didn't look like it on the minimap. Things happen. Production guys, why? Bad production people. I will scold them and lecture them about this later on. Totally not my fault.
Contractually obligated not to take responsibility.
Exactly.
That's what it is right there.
Exactly.
Oh, look at the damage from Danza! Look at that. That was one unstable vortex on towards Ninja Bobat and, like, the Declaw from Pikachu. That's more than half his health. He's got to watch out now. They've found out towards Flurry Q, the cats, and that unstable vortex doing so much damage. Kraken's going to come online for Pikachu. They will clean him up. Weefy's going to clear that one up. Space and time for that Ymir, though, and now Darza is going to find himself a double kill. Look at the score of Darza already. He is 4-0-2. Oh, that is a Janus that you have got to be careful of.
The Doomworm kind of tells the story of that as well. He's sitting at 50 stacks for now, just hitting that point. Wolfie, on the other hand, sitting down 17. That's a pretty big power difference. It's an extra 60 magical power early on. With Janus, with his passive, with the threshold debuff potentially on his opponent, he is hitting for immense amounts of damage. So it's rough. It's rough. Yeah, all the mistakes this weekend, guys, are brought to you by the one, the only Hindu man. Just making sure everyone knows exactly why and where all the mistakes are coming from.
Estonia.
Yes, long-range production issues from halfway around the world. We have a caster in Australia, we have a caster in North America, and we have our production crew in Estonia currently doing remote streaming and production work. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. Game Hunter right lane. Lofez looking to go back to base. Game Hunter saying no. Lofez saying yes. Lofez saying no. Okay, I'll stop and start again. Pikachu's coming in though, looking for the gank. He did walk across the ward though, so Game Hunter in theory shouldn't get caught up by this.
Bounce forward. Serenade not going to land
Doors
for Game
up.
Hunter. Gets the
Doors
Claude.
down.
Whoa! He's going to find the 2. Lofez, you're in a little bit of trouble. He's going to try and dash out, but Berserker Barrage is there for the cleanup. Pikachu running for his life, dodges out the tectonic shifts, going to get double tapped, and then immediately grabs that hammer as Ninja Bobat flies towards Pikachu. Cats come down, but look at that. Apollo, he is... Well, he's being more of a problem than Ocho was in the last game.
Yeah, these hunters in the solo lane definitely proving to be a little bit of an issue. We touched on it a little bit during picks and bans. Game Hunter is no stranger to Vamana. He's gotten pentakills in high-level competitive play as Vamana. I don't want to say it's a mistake, but maybe Vamana into Game Hunter may not, because you could pick a favorable matchup, but it's still you're picking you're picking a god into somebody who's very familiar with playing that god, so they know all the ins and outs. And to be fair, both the kills that Game Hunter has, the kill and the assist that he has, rather, are on the back of a gank from the Pikachu. So it's not a suspect that, oh, he's just winning the lane outright. He is getting help. They are getting ganked out. So it's not just straight up, Game Hunters are running out the lane. Although...
Left-hand side, though. Spicy Waffles. They're getting some spicy plays out. Gold Fury may not be the kind of spice that they're really looking for. Spicy Waffles get that Gold Fury, and now the no escape is going to come through. Hello, Ymir. You put a wall down, and you made yourself jump across it. Thanks, Big Man Tings.
Yep. So that Gold Fury pickup going away. Spicy Waffles definitely going to help even things out. Spicy Waffles just put themselves back in the gold lead, but EloFishers hold on to their experience lead, if only by a little bit. So we'll see how this one plays out as things are pretty much kind of back to parity across the board. Ninja Bobat not a happy place though. He's getting locked down. He's going to be able to go up and handle Dawn and escape with that ultimate if he so chooses.
He had 4-man rotating for him. The amount of respect, right? He's just like, I had 4 people come to try and kill me and I still lived. Man, you know the amount of plays I can make? These people know. But no, they just wanted the mid-tower, and they saw that Ninja Bobat was in the way of that coming through. It's actually going to be across the skies coming through from the Apollo. Now he's looking to come in on top of this one. Goes for Daza, gets the Serenade down as well as a Kraken on top of him. Goodbye to those Doom Orb stacks, but now the chase is on. Big Man Tings is trying to drop chains and trying to do what he can. Pikachu is going to burn through Ninja Bobat. Now they're still looking for the runaway, but down goes that Whirlpool, and Wilfie, he's going to find one, but now Lofez, he's going to find his first kill of the game, and this big baby, he ain't going nowhere. He's going all the way through your roster. No matter who you are, he wants to kill you. And the next one up in his line is going to be Game Hunter.
Fisher and Bushy boxing back and forth left side of the jungle as well. Bushy will win out that engagement out. Pikachu in mid lane, a little worse for wear, but Game Hunter not able to secure that kill because Lofacephal was still there to help things out. So yeah, coming into that one, EloFishers able to answer a few back, but it was still a 3-for-2 exchange in the favor of Spicy Waffles. So the gold lead going to climb ever so slightly, and I believe that actual experience is going to be just that much closer back to the neutral point. It was a 2,000 just a minute ago, and now down to pretty much 0.
This is a close game. This is a close game. This is going to go back and forth for forever. Spicy Waffles, grab that last gold fury. That's what... Look at Flurry Q right now. He's posing next to his statue. Posing next to his statue. That's his statue that got killed off by the Medusa.
Yeah. Medusa.
The things you see. The things you see in this game. That was hilarious. That was amazing. I should have screen capped that.
The only way that could have been more perfect if Ymir was mid-wave when he got turned into a statue.
The things you see and can do in Smite, huh?
Yeah. You catch Vamana in his ultimate, you can leave a big baby statue somewhere on the map. There's also some crazy things with Medusa Petrify. There's one, someone was messing around jungle practice, they had like 500 raw statues all over the place. It's crazy, silly stuff like that. But I digress. Spicy Waffles picking up the right side, Harpy Camp's left camp, I believe, went over the EloFishers. Things still pretty much even right now, except for that gold difference. Spicy Waffles starting to build a little bit of lead in that particular regard. There's still some interesting stuff across the map. That one death, it's still a stack advantage on that Doom Orb for Darzer. Wolfie having a little bit more trouble getting those stacks built up because they're focusing him pretty hard in that mid lane.
Whoa, she is here with Flurry, and they've got the through space in time. It's gone down on towards Poseidon. He's got to be forced to run away from here, but Lofez says, no, I'm a baby and I'll do what I want. He's going to cry if he wants to. Daza, though, is going to be the one crying at the end of this one. Game Hunter going to clean him up, and now Pikachu is going to chase on towards him. Does he have the Thunder Shock available? No, he's still going to have some cats in hand that he didn't quite drop out there, and Game Hunter doesn't quite tick down through the last portion of that HP bar. Maybe it was out of PP for Pikachu, but certainly everything else was on cooldown.
Yep, they're still looking for this kill on the Bushy right now. 2 members closing on in. Declaw will miss. Pikachu secures it with it in hand, though. Mid tower is about to fall with the minion wave present, plus a couple members of EloFishers. Darzer unfortunately lost half his stacks on the fight due simply to accidentally portaling into a portal, which then put him into a bad spot. There's a little vacuum effect on the portals that will pull you in unintentionally on rare occasions. And that's what happened.
Pikachu's going to get initiated on with the double tap, and now the Berserker Barrage as well. They burn through him with the Frost Carpet. Now Lofez is forced to run away. Can he get out of here? There's 3 members trying to beat on him. A Tectonic Rift and a Serenade locks him in place. Berserker Barrage from Ninja Bobat picks him up. Oh, man, that wall was perfect coming through from Ymir. They'll have the Frost Breath online, but they don't need it. There's a cripple and a slowdown there. Big Man Tings is going to get pulled out, and that means that only a Janus and Medusa are on the map. Right call, Jordan. It's Fire Giant.
Yeah. Yeah, Darzer come over. Unstable Vortex is pretty big, but those health bars are still very, very full. Look how quick that Fire Giant is dying as well. That Charge Vice is going to put it down to that threshold. Flurry Q is about to hand to the gods to secure it. Fire Giant coming in 15 minutes, 30 seconds to Spicy Waffles. They had a decent gold lead, sitting at 3,000 gold. But with 7,000 gold worth of power coming out from that Fire Giant belt across the entire team, not to mention regen and extra damage to towers, Spicy Waffles have themselves a very, very strong lead, at least for the next 3.5 minutes.
Well, gold, it is a stack when you think about it. It's just got its own separate bar that it stacks up on. It doesn't give you stats, but it allows you to buy stats.
You get many stacks as well. Who doesn't love many, many stacks? And you can't lose the stacks either. I mean, collectively right now, Spicy Waffles 40,000 stacks to the 37,000 stacks of EloFishers. To be fair, can you call a piece of gold a stack, though? So technically it's not 37 stacks. At least one of them can't be a stack. So it's like 38, 22, 22, minus 1 stacks of gold. And it keeps going up, so it's too hard to keep track of the exact amount. It's a large stack of gold collectively.
Imagine if these guys were poker players, right? Playing this game like playing poker. You'd have your stacks of chips, you'd just be like, boom, boom, constantly shifting them around. It'd be so hard. You'd like employ somebody on the team to do that in-game for you. Spicy Waffle's going to secure up the Gold Fury on the left-hand side of the map. Flurry Q and Wilfie, they're looking for a pick. They want to kill someone.
That's on the back of the Gold Fury as well, extending that Gold lead just a little bit further. I would not be surprised to see them group up and start looking for towers. Well, there's 3 members of the Spicy Waffles already grouped up mid. They're just waiting for the minion wave and or a tanky person to decide to tank this one up. Medusa is trying to split push over in that left lane right now, but it's going to be at siege on the tower. Flurry Q can use that Blink Frost Breath to not find anybody. It's not going to matter. The tower is falling so quickly. It's a victory for Spicy Waffles already, even without the proper engage being successful.
Yeah, Fire Giant, that's going to do that one for you, and they're going to look over towards the left-hand side of that map. Medusa did get the tower, and now get Fisher. He's forced to try and do what he can, but he's got the Petrify online, doesn't quite find the stun on towards Game Hunter. Gonna get the Lacerate down, but gets serenaded up for his troubles through space and time. Oh, the portal to come through, that's perfect. That gets Get Fisher out of there. He is thanking his lucky dozer right now, but you mentioned it, Thor's up. Showed him, they're looking for big man tings.
They do want to try and find this kill. No escape is available if he wants to use it, but he will not survive for it to channel. He's going to hold on to that cooldown for the time being and fall. Tier 1 tower in the left lane has minions approaching. Pikachu is going to be an incidental kill. In the meanwhile, they're just waiting for him to stop bouncing all over the place and find this kill. Bobat is getting very, very low. Gonna beads for the hammer, teleport forward, and Bushy will pick up that kill. That passive, not yet fully stacked, but he doesn't care. He's sitting pretty soundly. Not third damage on the team, 4th overall in this game. And he's only going to keep on getting stronger if the Spicy Waffles keep doing what they're doing.
They want to. Flurry Q is going to come on forward with a Kraken from his team. Is going to clean that up with the Frost Carpet. Man, spiky frozen carpets, they're not fun to have puncture your body from the bottom up.
You know what? It could be worse if it was like a Lego carpet.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's
Lego. Lego Ymir, because you can then build the wall up out of Lego pieces. Hi-rez, make it happen. Do it.
Tier 2 tower fell quickly. Phoenix in the left lane falling just about as quickly. Game Hunter getting killed. Get Fisher looking for big man tings as well. Right now, EloFishers are just not being allowed to regroup. Every single opportunity that they find, Spicy Waffles immediately just goes for the jugular vein of EloFishers. I see you, I kill you. I see you too, I kill you as well, because all the kills, we're not going to give you an opportunity to defend this in any way, shape, or form. There's still 30 seconds left on the Fire Giant buff. They got themselves 3 towers. They got themselves a Phoenix in the left lane, which is the most important bit of that. Fire Giant's going to be up in 1 minute and 15 seconds. Spicy Waffles can look to force a dance, force a team fight, or get themselves a second Fire Giant buff. And EloFishers, if they don't play into Spicy Waffles' hands right now, Spicy Waffles can look for more towers, more Phoenixes, and eventually the game. So EloFishers are going to need to look to fight for that Fire Giant.
The problem with taking down the left-hand Phoenix before going for that next Fire Giant is it does limit yourself in terms of strategy, especially playing the Apollo. You can't split push. The way the map is designed, you can't hard shove down the mid lane with an Apollo and expect to be able to join a Fire Giant fight. You can't hard shove down the right-hand side of the map and be expected to ult in for that Fire Giant. You're going to get picked off before either of those happen, so you have to be with your team. So that at least removes the split push out of the minds of EloFishers. They don't have to deal with that. They just have to deal with all those minions constantly building up and slowly stacking to a point where they're going to start bearing down on the Titan.
Yeah, just to clarify, guys, as well, this is the quarterfinals. This is not a semifinal game. We're doubling up. We're going to have the bracket a little bit. So rather than sit here with a wait screen for 15 minutes, we're bringing another exciting game so far between these two behemoths of a team. Spicy Waffles have a strong lead in hand right now. They're getting ready and prepping for this next Fire Giant. EloFishers are going to need to contest this very, very quickly, unless they give Spicy Waffles the opportunity to just storm through the remainders of the base, as part of it's already in ruin.
Gonna initiate on towards Big Man Tings. They were looking to tag him out. Bastet's on the backside. What can Pikachu find? He's looking at Game Hunter. That's the guy he was looking to find out. Ninja Bobat's gonna come in through space and time, is already down from the Janus, and that means that Medusa is at least gonna be able to join the fight in whatever capacity that she wants to get Fisher. But the Anvil of Dawn being forced out. Spicy Waffles, they don't have that initiate path now online.
No. It's going to be a little bit of back and forth right here as I try and counter this Fire Giant. Pikachu just going around the backside of the Fire Giant was all it took for Spicy Waffles to force that reset. The game is close enough at this point that a Fire Giant buff in the hand of EloFishers would still mean Spicy Waffles. It's not just a pure that we're delaying the inevitable play. EloFishers could definitely make use of that Fire Giant. They have some weakened towers. There's no tower left in the mid lane, so a Phoenix is exposed. Spicy Waffles have a lead, but they still do not want to let EloFishers get that Fire Giant.
Through space and time, still down for another 8 seconds, so Janus cannot join this fight just yet, and if he uses that, he's got to hit that match range snipe so hard to hit. We were talking geometry earlier, trying to teach some Jordan some new things out of high school, but Ninja Bobat is going to take a lot of damage at the start of that fight. So is Bushy. That's a problem. The Whirlpool's down in the back line, but the Ymir is down on the front line. EloFez, he's looking to go so deep on that big baby Wolfie. He's going to be his first kill. Who else can he find? He was looking at Bushy on the right-hand side. That Apollo is still getting fought out as best he can. Anvil of Dawn is going to come back through from Ninja Bobat, but he's so low. This might be a fight for EloFishers. Jordan, it's going so bad.
It's looking like Game Hunter Falls Flare Cube about to fall as well. The shutdown bonus is going to provide a lot of extra gold. Ninja Bobat, the only one left standing. Pikachu will take it. 5 kills for nothing in favor of EloFishers.
Look at the pings. The pings were on the mid-Phoenix.
A little, they could potentially have definitely taken both here. They're going to go for the Fire Giant. This is, I would say, the safer call. The health bars were risen below. They were worried about the respawn times coming out. They would have had time to at least get that Phoenix. The Fire Giant would have been a tough call on the back of that one, because they would just now be bringing the Phoenix down. They would have just been heading back towards the Fire Giant. They could have potentially taken both of these in the end. They went for the one. You know, it's better to make the one definite goal. We can definitely get the Fire Giant, definitely have that advantage, definitely get some extra gold. But with that, the swing back towards even. Experience is now back to dead even. Gold just swung down from a 7,000 gold lead in favor of Spicy Waffles, / Spacey Waffles apparently now, to just a 2.3k. But again, it's 8,000 gold worth of stats from that buff, plus regen, plus extra damage to objectives. EloFishers are now in the driving seat. Again, at least until that Fire Giant buff wears off.
Well, the Spacey Waffles, they're seeing stars after that game. That's one for you, Jordan. I come up with that one specifically for you. Anyway, Vamana, MVP from that last fight. Look at him, able to go so deep. EloFez just beat off Wilfie, zoned off Bushy, and that allowed the rest of the team to pile in on Game Hunter. The problem with this comp from Spicy Waffles is if they ever get separated and they get focused down in the right order, that is zoning out either Bushy or Game Hunter from doing damage to the right targets, they're in trouble. They're in big trouble. And EloFishers, they found that last fight.
Yeah, the big problem is going to be that Vamana. He has the shield on the roll, he has that hide naming line, he has the Runeforged Hammer, and he has Vamana. He goes in that big baby form. He is healing like crazy. Do you notice any big major thing lacking from the Spicy Waffles side of the item and active board? There is no anti-healing period on this side of the game right now. They cannot stop Vamana while he's up in that Colossal Fury, and meanwhile he is just wrecking face on anyone nearby. He was zoning out 3 members after he got a kill onto one of them.
Man,
with that,
the Fire Giant as well on Vamana, it means double the healing, right?
Yeah,
5% bonus healing. You're getting the Fire Giant plus the bonus 5% healing plus the healing from any items you have, bonus increased regen, all that sort of jazz. It is just intense. So the healing reduction, it needs to be online. They're going to fight a blink into 2-man Frost Breath. This could be Daza going down. He's at least going to live a little longer, but he's going to get eaten up by a Kraken. A Giant Shark will do that. Anvil of Dawn into the backside. Fisher is just getting burned through. Uh-oh, EloFishers might have gone too deep here. Fisher's going to live a little bit longer, but it means nothing when Wolfie cleans him up, and Jordan, the fights are starting to turn around.
Once again, EloFishers in the middle of a big fight, not going their way this time. However, Game Hunter finds another kill. EloFez, the only one left standing right now in the middle of this fight, about to fall as well. The rotation coming in from Apollo to save the day, plus that blink initiation coming out from that Ymir, set up that fight. You can see how close that fight was to going either way. Pikachu looking to clean up house and a Razor Whip on a few. The bleed, probably not going to find any kills. So close, though. I mean, that fight could have gone either way. But a second time in a row, almost a full-on deicide with a team just coming out with a big, clean engagement. The notable thing as well, EloFishers had Fire Giant on all 5 members of the team in that fight. Had.
We have a game on our hands. Look at the goal difference. There's 115 gold in between the two teams. We're going to hit a pause right now. That gives us a chance to take stock of what is in front of our faces. The XP difference, it's less than a K. We're 25 minutes into this game. 2 Fire Giants have already gone down. 1 in each team's favor. Only 3 Gold Furies, right? I expect that to kind of be maybe the objective that either team will think about in the next 5 minutes, because it's too risky to go for anything else. And without Fire Giant on the board, oh, Jordan, I love EU Challenger Cup. I love it so much.
Oh, it is. It really is just crazy across the board. I mean, you look at any of these games, quarterfinals onwards, you could take any one of those games. Like, this is going to be a good game one way or the other. This one especially, we're 26 minutes into this one. It is back and forth. Look, I mean, the graph is up, down. Oh, it's more just kind of, it's like a slight little bump, and it's like down, and suddenly, boom, straight back up. I was just saying, you know, EloFishers, Vamana's like online, he's an unstoppable monster, and suddenly Spicy Waffles like wiped the floor with EloFishers.
In the mid lane, though, Big Man Tings is getting focused out on towards, and he will be killed off. That means that next objective can be fought for. Fire Giant in minute 12, but they're going to look to initiate this one. EloFez is getting burned through. They've killed off the Vamana, and that's a problem. Wushi was looking for Fisher as well, forced to burn the Petrify to keep himself alive underneath that Phoenix, and Spicy Waffles, they may have found what they needed. Uh-oh, they're going to look to go in for Pikachu's. Through space and time is coming through to just give Fisher a little bit of safety if he needed it, and also put some hurt down onto that opposition lineup. But Spicy Waffles, they want this Phoenix, and it is just about to be theirs.
Get Fisher forced the beads out from that Thor wall, plus that Whirlpool. EloFishers in a spot they do not want to be initiated on by Spicy Waffles. Not just the fact, you know, they're down a couple members. It's just the way these team fights are going to play out. Spicy Waffles, a Frost Breath, a Thor wall, sets up that Kraken from Wolfie to just do massive amounts of damage. We saw Darz in the middle of that last fight at the Phoenix just get burst down immediately and not able to use a single ability in that fight. He was just a non-factor. After that, it's a 5v4. They're still going. Everyone else took incidental damage from everything else. EloFishers, their team comp as well. They need LoFez to be able to get back in the middle of the fight and start causing havoc. Pikachu needs to wait for that opportunity to jump in, apply that dot damage to the right targets, mainly Game Hunter, Wolfie, or Bushy. They need, you know, a favorable, preferably, a good no escape onto multiple people, force those crowd control, you know, force the beads to be used on the side of Spicy Waffles, and then that sets up Get Fisher then to look to fire off a nice Petrify, find a decent chunk of damage, stuns, or big slows. The problem in that fight, we saw Darza get exploded. The backline, Get Fisher, was focused by Ninja Bobat. He had to use the Petrify defensively to try and stay alive. Ninja Bobat just beads it and kept on doing damage. The fight just, the team basically just crumbled because nobody was able to get into a spot and do what they needed to do just because Spicy Waffles just suddenly came at them just like, all in, we're going to kill you here before you can have a chance to respond to it, and it worked.
Check this out on the left-hand side of the map. This is what you expect from that Apollo. He's going to be shoving this wave up, looking for that split push. Game Hunter, he's still looking for Darza, though, trying to throw off all the basics, see what he can find from those in-hands. Darza, he's going to live, though. Bastet, where is she? What's she looking for? What are you up to?
A little bit of some chicken for dinner. Chicken dinner. And it worked out quite well. Going to leap back towards the Bushy, trying to play the juke game, trying to stay alive as Wolfie was rotating on over. Phoenix for the jungler could be worth it in the end. Wolfie and Bushy still trying to bring Pikachu down. She's juking around back over towards the Bushy as it's a bit of a, not really a chase, just kind of jumping around delaying the inevitable. But EloFisher is using this to their advantage.
Up goes the Thor, he's going to come down, they're going to get in on towards this Fire Giant, and Apollo's come over, Spicy Wolf will secure the Fire Giant, that is huge! Floor Q is the one being burst out, but he's only a support, and they've got the Fire Giant, they're going to go on towards Big Man Tings! Now they're forced to come back, LoFez in the big baby, they're avoiding dropping any damage on him to ensure that the Colossal Fury times out a lot earlier. Darza's in trouble, he's got the Aegis online, but a Kraken, a shark from the deep, hopefully an Australian one's going to go eaten through his body. And now, Spicy Waffles, they've got eyes firmly set on EloFish's base.
They want this mid-Phoenix. Left side Phoenix is not too worried about right now. It was already brought down. It will be easy to take it out. So while there's still a few less members on the board, they want to answer back. If the Fire Minions pouring down to answer the Fire Minions of EloFishers. Left side about to fall as well. There's still a couple seconds on the respawn for Pikachu. Get Fisher a little ways off. Darzer, a bit of a longer period before he's back up. There's going to be a back to base, maybe a gold free pickup along the way. They're sitting on a decent chunk of gold. They have a long time to worry and work with that Fire Giant buff for the next future. Another pause going to come out for EloFishers. This game, we're just passing the 30-minute mark right now, and both these teams are just playing these fights back and forth. We saw that clutch play coming out from the Pikachu to get that mid-Phoenix. Bought time for EloFishers with the steal. Spicy Waffles, Flurry Q, able to steal that one away and turn that fight at the Fire Giant.
The trouble with Pikachu going to backdoor that Phoenix in the mid lane is Apollo, right? But he can deal with Apollo. He can deal with Apollo. That's fine, right? He's an assassin. That's what he's designed to do. They send Poseidon as well. They risked losing that Fire Giant. They trusted the mechanics of Flurry Q, and Flurry Q just come up aces. He is the jack of this support trade, and man, did he just lay a royal flush on the table.
Yeah, and you know, chat, throws. This is absolutely not throws. This is both these teams. These are behemoths. These guys, we saw like the likes of Eager last time in the spring split, you know, Epsilon, these big teams coming out, like, you know, these are really, really good teams. I've been watching these guys play for a long time. These are all big name teams. Some of these guys have played on SPL teams before. Some of these teams are definitely SPL quality and caliber. This is not just a case of, oh, this team throw, the other team threw back. This is just teams playing these team fight, right? That Phoenix is the one that springs to mind. Spicy Waffles just saw that brief glimmer of hope, just boom, blinking from Flurry Q, set up that fight. This isn't a case of the team through. This is just a case of any tiny little itsy bitsy mistake is being jumped on by the respective teams, and they're winning fights because of it. I mean, this isn't just a case of, oh, you know, this was a terrible call, this was a terrible call. Both these teams are just coming out and finding these huge, huge team fights and turnarounds.
Look at the player damage column. Look at that player damage column on your stats tab. Player damage 20k for Apollo, 18.5k, 16.8k, 14.8k. This Poseidon is 5k in player damage ahead of Daza's Janus. We talked about how important he was going to be in that early game because he got ahead. He got that Doom Orb online. He's at 27 stacks. That's a problem.
Blink Frost Breath coming in from Flurry Q right there. Not going to find anybody. GetFisher's going to take a little poke from the Magellan's Attunement. That Phoenix in right lane is all that is left standing between them and the Titan. That said, they could just go down the middle or left lane as well and just find the Titan outright. So that last little bastion of defense for EloFishers, they're trying to buy some time for the Fire Giant buff to fall off. 65 seconds remaining on that buff. We'll see if they can hold on to it. Mid lane, a little poke going back and forth. The Poison Dart's ticking away on Pikachu, while left side, right side's going to be Big Man Ting's caught behind that wall.
Down comes that Darkest of Night. What can they find? Big Man Tings still looking to be that front line. This Phoenix, it's fallen down. It's gone. So the last major flaming objective on the map has killed over for the meantime. What does that mean? Well, that means that everything from Spicy Waffles side has got a nice little bit of fire added to it. There's a Fire Giant buff, Fire Minions, and 3 lanes.
Yeah. The Fire Minions still at this point in the game, they're not that hard to deal with. There's still a lot of extra damage. GetFisher caught behind that wall. Ninja Bobat's up in the air. This could be the last fight of the game. Big Man Ting, Boom for no escape. Not going to find a pull into anyone, though.
And in the backline, GetFisher gets dived on by Ninja Bobo, and he's forced to throw that hammer and get out of there. Look at that Aegis to come through from Daza. It's bought out the last 2. Krakens, he lives! He lives! He lives! Bushy will find Lopez in the backside. That is not good. Now they focus down on burning through the Titan. It's below 50% health. They're calling it. They're focusing it. They're forced to back out in team fight. Wifey finds one in Game Hunter and crew. They burn through the Phoenix, and it is going to be the spiciest waffles you done ever eat. They eat the fish of the EloFishers. Maybe we'll be having fish waffles this week for dinner.
It's chicken and waffles, not fish and waffles. This is like, no, it's chicken and waffles. I'm American, I know these things. This game,
What a game!
Is just... EU is going to come down to the wire. I would not be surprised to see tiebreakers. I would not be surprised to see multiple tiebreakers coming out at the end of week 5. EloFishers finished first place last week. Spicy Waffles were knocked out in the round of 16. That should tell you the story of this. This week around, it's quarterfinals knockout for EloFishers and Spicy Waffles moving on to the semifinals. EU is crazy. That's simply the only way it can be put. I mean, just...
Wow. I am so impressed with the gameplay from these EU teams. I got to sit around and I got to watch this last week. I got to talk to you and Hindu Man talking about casting this sort of stuff. I did not imagine we'd be getting games like this after Titan to Titan battles. Look at this. Look at Europe's scene giant, and god damn, if this doesn't make you love Smite, there is nothing in this world that will make you enjoy Smite at all.
And I have to correct myself before I get jumped on by chat. EloFishers were first seed last week. They finished second place overall. Poppies took first place. I didn't have the bracket over far enough. I saw first 1, 2. Thought it was there were numbers. We've established my math skills at this point. There were numbers involved. Please forgive me. Still not my fault. I'm not responsible for anything. Contractually obligated to not be responsible. We've established that as well. So, but please forgive me for any math shortcomings that may result from my speaking and stuff. That said, no, I mean, just talking about the game seriously. Seriously, this was just a back and forth, comeback after comeback after comeback. Spicy Waffles in the end with a Fire Giant buff. If EloFishers were able to hold on just a little bit longer, could potentially have looked to turn that around again, but the extra damage from those fire minions and the extra damage from that fire giant buff across the entire Spicy Waffles lineup proved to be just a little bit too much. The game ended up finishing an overall gold difference of 9,000 gold, and a lot of that was on the back of those last couple of kills and Phoenix pickups and things like that. This game was cut down to the wire, pretty much a 33-minute game, and it was a really, really close one.
Oh my god, and this was only quarterfinals. I have to go and find my other voice that I keep in the cupboard for our semis and grand finals.
Yeah, and looking at the quarterfinals, Six Sigma Laser Unicorns would have been a good game. I'm looking at the wrong bracket. Sorry. But, Team Illusion Moonman would have been good. Myrmidon Six Sigma would have been good. We're not sure what game we're going to be going on to next. I believe the other there's still a quarterfinal game going on right now, if that tells you anything. We've done 2 quarterfinals games, and there's still one in progress. So we're going to be going on to Spicy Waffles to face off against Myrmidons. Poppies are still waiting on an opponent in the next few minutes, so we'll be back in just a few with the first semifinal game of the day.